If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And leave us a comment. We love hearing from you.
Hey everyone, we're going to talk about the Chanterelle pants again today, and this time we're going to talk about lengthening or shortening the leg of the pants. So you might do this for two reasons. First is that your inseam length might be different than the inseam length that they have established for the pattern. And the second reason is you might just want a longer fit or a shorter fit. So on the pattern, they have already marked us the shorten and lengthen line. And so all we need to do is we're going to cut on that line, and that's both on the front and back. We're going to cut that line and then widen the gap and extend it by whatever length we rather want to increase to fit our body length, or to just increase or decrease the length of the pant. So if I wanted to decrease the length, I would actually just go ahead and make a fold. So instead of cutting it, I'm going to fold along that line and then fold it back half the amount I want to decrease it. So if I want to decrease it by 1 inch, I'm going to fold it back by a ½ inch. And that's of course because on the fold it has already been, that fold is making up for twice the amount versus cutting it and extending it, which is you need to do the full amount. So I'm going to mark here ½ inch and then again ½ inch. And I'm drawing a line just to make a guide so it's very clear where I need to make that fold. Here we go. So now we go ahead again and folding along that line. Perfect. And you can see that these are sort of close enough that I can guesstimate about what that slope is. If I wanted to do this really clean, or if there was a very sharp slope there, I might have to cut that, add paper, and then reevaluate that curve. But that's not usually the case for the leg of a pant because they're placing these lengthen and shorten lines at about where there's not a lot of detail happening. If there was a sharp curve, it would mess things up. So it's usually going to be towards the bottom of the leg where there's not a lot of sloping happening. So that's one way to shorten, and that'd be shortening it by 1 inch. Now, if I wanted to lengthen, we'd go ahead, we'd cut this line. We would grab a scrap piece of paper or just cut off a bit on from our roll. Going to draw an initial line. And then I'm going to measure up 1 inch from that. If I'm lengthening by 1 inch, I might want to lengthen by many inches. Maybe I want a baggy pant. Or, you know, maybe I am very, very tall. If this pattern was drafted for someone who's 5'5" and I am 6 foot tall, I'm going to want to go ahead and lengthen that by a good 5 inches probably. There we go. I'm going to line that up on that line. I'm going to tape it down. All right, and then I'm going to bring this guy back in here, and I'm going to make sure that this grain line is matching up. I want to make sure that I'm not offsetting the pattern at all and getting wonky things happening because I've suddenly offset my leg. So that looks pretty good, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that, first of all, I've got that line met there. Oh, I moved it now. There we go. Make sure I'm still, that looks close enough. Let's toss down some tape. All right. And now I can approximate. It's sort of, there's a phrase for it where you kind of take a bit and give a bit on either end of the cut. And so it's sort of like meeting in the middle of that. Again, we're going to sort of meet in the middle of these two. As long as it's a smooth transition, you can do a lot with clothing as long as the transition's sort of smooth, as long as we're not dipping in or anything. But yeah, now we've added 1 inch to the leg of the pants and we're good to go.